Okay, right now you're looking through my laundry room door that shuts off the laundry room from the kitchen. But you'll see that in this space we have a hall tree back there in the corner. And what we want to do, if I can show you this, is we want to take this space here about 32 inches over, be somewhere in here, and create a cubby with a little bench seat so that you can come in the wintertime and sit down and take your boots on and off, whatever, or even in the summertime, put your shoes on and sit here and do that, and then get rid of the hall tree here and take the hooks and put them inside so that when you come in you can hang your jacket up or your hats, whatever. So it'll be, the bench will be about 18 inches off the ground, or off the floor I should say, and then about a 5-foot opening for your hooks and coats, a shelf, and then above that a cupboard. So I've got something sketched up, and I want to show that to you, but just so you get the idea. The other thing is that we're not going to have this stand here and go and sit on the floor. Instead, I want to hang it on the wall basically. So I'll be drilling through the back into the studs here and anchoring it to the wall that way. So it's going to hang rather than stand on the floor. And I'll show you how I've designed that as well. So that's going to be my next project, and let me show you what I've got in mind for that. Okay, so here's my rough idea. I guess I've got to finalize some of these dimensions with my wife, but this is what I've got going on. 32 inches wide from outside piece to outside piece. This is all going to be 3/4 inch cherry plywood, along with the back is going to be 3/4 inch as well. And the reason for that is because of the way I'm going to install this thing. We're going to hang it, so I want that to be substantial. If you look at it from the side here, you can see, rather than just having this be in a box, I've put a little decorative arc in there, not all the way back to the complete back, because I want to be able to hide like the outlet, and I just don't want a sharp edge there. So that edge will be finished off. I'll put a piece of trim on there, mold a thin piece I can bend to cover that plywood edge. Here's the bench I was talking about here. This will be 18 inches off the floor, and the reason you see the difference here between the top of the bench seat and this, it's about I think it's about 7 inches, because when I add the dimension from the floor to the bottom of this, that's going to give me my 18-inch seat height here. And then I've got a piece in the back here where I'm going to mount hooks. Here's the shelf, and then I don't have my doors on here yet, but the reason I don't is because I want to finalize these two dimensions with my wife. This dimension I don't think is going to change. That's going to be the same, that 5-foot dimension. But this may get moved down. So the shelf, right now I have about 12 inches in here, and this measures about 14. This may come down a little bit, maybe to 8. It's just some place where we can put gloves and hats, stuff like that. So we might not need all this space right here. Or we keep the space and then kind of subdivide it with some shelves in there. So 14 inches deep, and then from the long dimension here is just short of 8 feet. So that'll be, and then this will get, this top piece here is going to get put up right up to the top of our ceiling. So there you have it. That's my idea of making a cubby. And then, like I say, we'll build a couple doors for whatever this final dimension ends up being here in this opening up on top. And we may or may not have a shelf in there as well. So let's get started. Alright, I just spent the last few minutes cutting my 3 main pieces to size. So I have my back here, and that measures 31 by 96 and a half. This plywood is 96 and a half. And I'm going to take that 1/2 inch off the bottom because that's going to be the exposed edge that I'm going to have to finish. These top edges will not be. So the way this is going to work is that this piece is going to go this way, and there's going to be a tongue on here into a rabbet on this side, and vice versa on this side. So this is coming up this way. So what I have here then is these 2 pieces need to be mirror images of each other, and that's why I took the time to lay this down and lay it out. So I've made my marks on these 2 edges, the back edges of where the rabbit's going to be, and then I've got my perpendicular cuts for each of my shelves that are going in here, along with one on the bottom, and then there'll be the matching dados across the back, because the shelves are going to fit in to all 3 grooves to help square this thing up. So the other thing that you can't see is on the back here, I've marked this is the top, and then I've got here where these rabbets are going to be cut. So I make sure that I get it from the proper side. So the top side is up and the back is down when it's going across the saw blade or the dado set. So got everything laid out. I've got my dimensions. The original drawing I showed you is a little bit different. My wife and I decided that we wanted a little more room in the cupboard, because the shelf is just going to be kind of a catch-all, and we don't want it to be too deep or too high and just have wasted space above whatever hats, gloves, whatever else you throw in there. So this is going to be about a 9-inch space. This is going to be about a 16-inch space with possibly cutting some holes in here for an adjustable shelf, and then matching holes on this side as well. So that's that. That's what I've got to do. Next thing we'll do is set up my saw, my crosscut sled there, or table, and make these perpendicular dados. And the one thing I will tell you too is that I'm going to be working off of, on the one end, I'm going to be working the dado off of the bottom, and off of the other end, I'm going to be working it off the top. So I've made sure that everything is nice and parallel. It's not the ideal situation. You always would like to work off of one edge, but in this case I just can't do it. There won't be enough material to grab and hold to run across my dado set. So let me get things set up, and then we'll get that operation rolling.